Hi everyone, this is Hillary from the Nurse Preceptor channel. I'm Hillary, your nurse preceptor, and I wanted to just have another little honest chat with you today. I'm here in my office studio at home and wanted to just tell you a little bit about my own personal story about how I ended up being a nurse and what made me decide to go into nursing. And it was a series of a few events that I think some of them had more of an impact on me than I even realized at the time. But I had wanted to study medicine, study. So I entered Ohio State University as a pre-medical student, and I would say I was serious about it, but I had no idea what really went into it. I really didn't. I was kind of naive, typical freshman, and did okay in my classes, but not as well as I could have. I didn't take myself very seriously, and so anyway, I was thinking about maybe doing something other than pre-med by the end of my freshman year, and switched over to psychology. And I think I picked that just because I really didn't know what else I would want to do. And I thought, well, I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at listening to people. And a lot of people come to me, and I've always been told it's because I'm kind of an old soul and I seem to have some insights and be able to really help people. And it is important to me to be able to help people. It's just something that I can't even explain, maybe from being the oldest kid in the family, but I always kind of like to be the voice of reason, and I like to be someone who can really just be part of the solution instead of part of the problem in the world. So anyway, that's all the insight I have on that. It's a calling. I don't know what else to say about it. So when I was studying psychology, it became really obvious to me about halfway through that I really needed to get involved, volunteering my time with some of the different research projects going on around the university. And one of them that appealed to me a lot was a breast cancer project where we, even as undergraduate students, would have the opportunity to do some actual research, like speak with subjects in this study that was looking at immunity and breast cancer and resilience and basically overall survival based on whether kind of joining a support group and having a lot of extra information at your disposal helps you to survive longer and helps your immunity. Which, in theory, having a better immune system is going to help your cancer survival. So anyway, I got involved in that and really loved it. I really loved speaking with the patients. It was really cool hearing their stories. And, they trusted me with some of the most really intimate and personal details of their life. And, from time to time, would have a little bit of chance while I was walking them to the appointment and back again to their cars, and would have a chance sometimes to just talk to them as a human. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is really cool. Well, I also had a lot of interactions with the clinic nurses, the research clinic nurses, because they would draw blood from the patients, help them to access their ports, which are like an implanted IV under the skin that helps them to be able to draw blood on patients who have had cancer surgery where maybe they can't really use their arms very effectively. So anyhow, after talking with a lot of the nursing staff, I started realizing that, wow, they get to do all of the same talk therapy that psychologists do, maybe with a little bit different emphasis. But for one thing, they're allowed to really put their own personal spin on things, like really interact with them in a way that's truly authentic and from a very personal point of view, whereas psychology, you really you have to maintain more of an arm's length and a little bit more distance and be a little bit more, I don't want to say impersonal, but far more objective at all times. So you're keeping yourself out of it, and there's really none of that give and take. And I think that patients really respond well to the give and take that the nurses had. And I started really listening to what they were saying, and they had so much wisdom as far as how to take care of themselves, how to tell the patients to take care of themselves at home, what to do about symptoms that came up. And the psychologists really didn't deal with that. And I thought, so the nurses get to interact with the patients, kind of like the psychologists do, but they also get to physically make them feel better. It's like they looked at the whole patient, and I really started to cherish those relationships. I thought, well, that's what I want to do. It was right in front of me this whole time, and I had no idea. I just didn't know all of the different roles that nurses could do. So, much to my dad's disappointment, I think, in my senior year of nursing school, or my senior year of psychology, going into my senior year, I said, you know, Dad, I have totally changed my mind. I don't want to try to get into a PhD program for psychology. I want to do nursing school. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's not going to take me that much longer. It's actually a lot faster than a PhD program. It's fine. So I went ahead and took the prerequisites I would need for nursing school and graduated on time, but I had all these extra nursing requirements, and then I ended up applying for nursing school as a second degree student, which was a good fit for me, and I got in. So I did not go to Ohio State for nursing school. I went to South Carolina, and it was a very good experience. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. One other event that happened along the way while I was at Ohio State that did reinforce the fact that I wanted to become a nurse was that one day I was exercising in the student fitness center. I think I was either on a treadmill or one of the ellipticals, and I was in the front row. They had the room kind of set up where it was like, you know, a row and then a row of equipment behind it, and another row of machines and another row of machines. It was a really big workout studio. And I heard some commotion behind me, and I kind of glanced behind me, and it looked like someone had fallen off one of the machines. And, you know, I just kind of had my headphones on, so I couldn't really tell what was going on. And then there was a lot of commotion right after. And it turned out that what had happened is that the gentleman who was on the machine back a couple rows had actually had a cardiac arrest on the machine and fell off and was pulseless and just lying there. And it seemed like it took a really long time for the staff there to start CPR, and meanwhile they were trying to get people out of the way, trying to clear people out of the room. And I just remember at that moment in time feeling really kind of helpless and impotent. And I thought, I want to be able to respond to situations like this when they come up. I want to be able to be that person who can be the first responder, because you are the first responder when you're the first one there. And that was right when I was starting my senior year and having maybe some second thoughts, like I'm not really sure if this is the right decision. But at that moment, I knew that I absolutely had to do it, just to satisfy my own soul, that I would be able to help out if anyone was ever in a time of need again. For the record, the gentleman who was on the machine, he didn't make it. They called the ambulance and loaded him and took him to the hospital, and he did not recover. He died. And when I heard that, I thought, I don't know if it would have made a difference if someone could have gotten to him a little bit sooner, but it weighed on my soul for a while. And anytime I've, you know, kind of thought that maybe I didn't make the right decision by going to nursing school, maybe it wasn't the right decision for me, I have realized that it was. I wish you all luck in figuring out what it is you want to do. I will tell you that nursing is a hard profession. I'll talk more about that in some other videos, but it is actually a profession that can love you back. And there are a lot of different lines of work where that's absolutely not the case. So I have second-guessed my decision at times, but I can say with certainty now, I'm really glad I did it. All right, like, share, subscribe. Please let me know if you have any questions at all pertaining to nursing, healthcare, the state of things, how to get into nursing, things that you should do to maybe ready yourself for what is a really demanding profession. Okay? Till next time, take care.